Hi, I'm Ginny Bratton, and let me tell you something about Lily Beasley. Watching that soccer game versus Hutch yesterday, I decided that I would not ever want to go up against her. She is a beast. Very skilled and very hardworking. Off the field, Lily is known for being a great friend and a fantastic artist. I'm lucky enough to have a parking spot next to her. I'm just as excited to hear what she has to say as you are, so I give you Lily Beasley.
My dad has recently become a self-made tomato farmer, and he's been putting all his efforts into growing these tiny little tomatoes, and for months, dozens of small tomato residents have made our backyard their home. Every day, I watch my dad water them and care for them, and give them a whole lot of love. And every night, he runs in to tell me about each tomato's little well-being. So after hearing about these tomatoes all the time, I decided to pay them a visit. And after a couple minutes, I got to thinking, I am a tomato. All my life, I've been raised by a wonderful community of people at home and here at St. Mary's, constantly nurturing and watering and loving me. And yes, in my garden, I found some pretty good-looking tomatoes that were shiny and pretty and ready to be eaten. But it was the bruised tomatoes that represent a pretty good parallel to my life. I am not a perfect red tomato, and no one is, but I think that the most important lesson St. Mary's has taught me is to just roll with the punches. My dad would like me to say that everyone was wrong about him. He stuck with farming even when people laughed, and now he's producing tomatoes left and right. It's all about the come up, Lily. And Dad, you're right. It really is all about the come up, the growth. I'm only 18 years old, and I'm gonna make mistakes and get bruised, but what matters is the come up, getting back up after something knocks you down, because life is not just perfect red tomatoes and rainbows. It's hard and scary and tough, and it's constantly changing. And I admit that I'm scared to move on from my own little St. Mary's garden because I have never been a lone tomato. But it has been said that one can choose to go back towards safety or forward towards growth. Growth must be chosen again and again, and fear must be overcome again and again. And I've always had this school here supporting me and helping me grow. But I know that there comes a time for people to move on and roll with the punches that life just keeps giving out, and while I choose to go forward towards growth, I am grateful for all the years here spent in my safe place with all of you. To my 59 little red tomatoes. I wouldn't trade the world for having transformed from little seeds to adulthood in any other place or with any other girls. Soon we will no longer be baby tomatoes, and we'll plant ourselves in new gardens and grow in new places, but you only grow up once, and I'm so glad I did my growing up with you. Thank you.